and light. Welcome back to another episode of Citations. I'm Sayeda Embra, and today's a really special episode because we have my beautiful friend and colleague, Monique Lyttle. And super cool, we're going to share with you the story of how we how the universe brought us together. Like, God was really doing what he does best that day. And so we'll definitely share with you that. But the reason why I was really excited to share Monique's expertise and thought process and just experience on this earth is because her being an emotional health consultant. And I've never heard of that specific title or avenue of work and mission in this world. And so I kind of wanted her to dive in on her own self-love journey. We'll share a bit of personal stories and then just go from there and just let it flow and vibe like how we always do. We're drinking some mint tea, but I'll let Monique introduce herself.
Hi everyone. Hi Gabby again. I'm Monique Lyttle. As Gabby has said, I'm an emotional health consultant. I essentially help people with their emotions. Not only that, but help them get connected to their true self, get connected to their true purpose, get connected to love, truth, joy, and so that they could have more joy triggers than, triggers, pain triggers.
Joy triggers.
Yeah.
I like that.
Yeah. Oh my gosh, when I found out that was a thing, I was just like, phew, who would have thought? We've been so focused on the pain.
Yeah.
It's crazy.
Like, that word even triggers people.
Exactly. That was me at some point.
Oh my. Okay.
Yeah. And so right now, this is a joy trigger for me too. So you'll hear me laughing a lot.
Just like before we started recording, yes.
Right? Like, uncontrollably, don't mind. It's a thing.
Yeah.
No problem.
All good. Okay, who do you want to start with the story? Should I explain my point of view and then you kind of go into your point of view?
Yes.
Because I'm sure,
there's a lot.
Yeah. Okay, so it was maybe like 2 weekends ago, and it was a beautiful Saturday, just enjoying the day. And this is a particular day I'm doing a pop-up shop. You all know Earth Unleashed Co., all my body butters, all that good stuff. And it was my last one for the season before I wrap everything up. And so I'm really super excited. I'm in the community, sharing my tent, just chatting with people. And then I see someone come up and I'm like, whoa, she looks so familiar. and she's like, Gabby? Monique? And I'm like, wait, what? What are the odds? We're both literally here at the exact part in New York. That's so wild. Mm-hmm. It's just so wild to me. And we've known each other since we were 13, 14 in high school, for sure. And so it's been maybe 5, 6, no,
way more, about
9,
10
10 years since we've seen each other.
Crazy.
Because we haven't seen each other in between.
Mm-hmm. Correct.
And next year's our 10th high school reunion.
Yeah. Which is insane.
Wow, that's beautiful. It's wild, yes, it's insane, but also it's just
it is. It's divine timing.
Yes.
It's something sacred about it.
Yes, because you're just on your walk on your beautiful Saturday, and then what? And
on the longest walk at that. I went very far from my house, which is not usual for me. So that, absolutely. It wasn't an accident.
Yeah.
Especially moments before you leave.
I know. It was an hour or two, because I was already there for 5 hours. Wow. So
it's crazy.
Mm-hmm.
Crazy.
Got food and everything. It was a good time.
That was a really good time.
Yeah. Wow.
That was a really good time.
So honestly, this episode wouldn't exist if we weren't at the market.
Wow, yeah.
Simultaneously.
Yeah.
That's legit divine timing.
Wow.
Yeah.
Literally.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh.
There's no way. How would this even have happened?
Yeah.
This soon? No. I know. So that's why it's when people don't really take time to evaluate their life and evaluate happenstance and experiences, it's just not looking at your life as a miracle. Like, each of us are miracles, and how do we rendezvous with people in certain times when it's just like there's something about it. There's something that connects all of us.
Yeah.
Like, no matter what belief system, whatever, it's just like literally beyond that. Mm-hmm. And I guess like understanding that and just having that play out for both of us simultaneously, we were both like, oh my gosh, like, it was just a thing.
And the craziest part was the fact that I mentioned you to Jamie the day before. Like, literally,
that
like, we have to meet up with Gabby.
That is so true. You were already like speaking my name the day. So
we don't need to say anything else. Point proved.
Yeah, I'm glad that you're here.
Yeah.
I'm glad that we're even having this. Like, this is so good.
Wow. And I like what you said about just us all being connected and actually being present in our everyday. Yeah. Like, every moment is, what would you say, a miracle.
Yes.
Like, that's so crazy. And the more we actually get present with that in our own lives, just where we are emotionally, mentally, physically, the better we can connect with someone else on that. Yes. Only other reason I was able to connect with Q, right? Like, I was enjoying the present moment, which is great. He's great, honestly.
Oh, yeah.
He's awesome. Like, great energy.
Yes. Like, and divine partnership. Like, every aspect of my life, I look at it as a gift from divinity, a gift from God. Like, there's no aspect that's, like, detached from that.
Yeah.
And so, when I think of, like, self-love, self-care, like, pouring into like myself, it's not only like bubble baths, going to the spa, all those things. Amazing.
Yeah.
Granted, I do them. Like, literally just went to the spa the other week. However, self-love also is like facing your fears.
Yeah.
Looking at your scars, emotional scars as well. Like, we talked about triggers a bit.
Yeah.
Like, really getting real with yourself. And there's even aspects of myself I found I was hiding from myself. What? What?
Yes.
How? I'm one being. Am I? You know, like,
it's so crazy. But I think that shows how beautiful we are as beings. Like, that we're so capable of hiding things from ourselves. And then to be able to come back and be like, bring light to that. So crazy.
Yes, and that's growth. It's tough,
for real,
but it's growth. And so when you speak to your clients, and before that, like, how did you even get here? Like, how did you find out, like, this is your mission, this is what you want to do?
Man, that is a good question. I feel like I had a weird life, okay? You know, your fair share of unmet needs and trauma, all that good stuff. I actually recently found journal entry that I wrote to myself in 8th grade, learning that, like, it was just this mental state of, I want to do better, but I understand that I won't always do that, and I just need to keep my head forward and be okay with what happens, right? Like, it was honestly more stable than you would think for a 12-year-old. You know what I'm saying? Like, it was kind of crazy.
So aware.
Right. And so funny, my name means advisor, right? Yeah. It's
Monique?
Yes. I know.
I love that.
Thank you.
Yes.
I've always thought there was something on it, but I didn't understand. Like, to the core, I was just like, that makes sense, but also, why? You know, what more is there? And so as time went on, I feel like there was a time in college, hell, to some extent, and then my last year of college when I kind of dealt with a lot of depression, suicidal thoughts, things like that. And at some point, I don't know, I really feel like it was God, and it was just like, just this touch of peace, but a peace in a way that reminded me that I still do want better. You know, when I was a kid, I had suicidal thoughts, and I made, like, the actual decision I wanted to live, not just for myself, but definitely for my family, you know? And so just having that moment in college, it brought me to this place of, like, what more can I do for myself? And so the first thing I remember that came up for me was the power of speech, and how, like, crazy it is. It's not just for us, but how we talk to other people, you know? Like, the fact that plants, how we talk to plants, actually has an effect. And it's so crazy, you know? And so I was brought up with many various type of ways of communication, whether it's like avoiding, not talking about something, or aggressive, not really self-compassion. But it wasn't till these past 2 years after my dad passed that I got more into self-compassion. And then for 2 years before that, I got into my emotional health journey. Because I wanted to get deeper connected with myself, deeper connected with people around me, and deeper connection with God. I was really bad at all of it. My actual attachment style, or the one that I'm prone to, I'm more secure now, but it's avoidant. And so, avoiding me, my stuff, everyone's stuff. Yeah. And so it came to, and this is my ADHD talking because I don't remember your question, but I'm just going to finish the thought here. I'm going to finish the
Thank
thought.
you for being honest. It's still there. It's still on.
Okay, great.
You're on the point.
But yeah, like, so after my dad passed, I found this person. Her name is Laura Duncan. She created this thing called the Compassion Method. And essentially it's just circled around the true self, getting you more connected to your true self. Being who you are, who you were created to be, knowing that it wasn't actually bad, you were actually created perfect, but you got like covered up by all this shame, all this insecurity, all this blame, all the bad stuff essentially. Especially with the whole Garden of Eden thing and the fact that it's like we thought that we needed more, right? But we already had enough. And we just needed to be exactly. Yeah. And then we got the knowledge of good and evil, which causes us to think that, oh, this isn't good enough. You know, this is actually not too evil.
Yes.
You know?
Labeling.
Exactly.
We're like master labelers.
We're master
like
labelers.
Humans? Come on.
Yes.
That's literally it. I don't like this. I like that. I don't like him. I like her.
He does that too much. The ick. Let's not even get into that. Listen, I'm guilty too, but like it's a little bit insane.
Yes, like that's like legit the human ego, and just wanting to point out like, okay, and I guess in a world where there's so many labels, how do we define ourselves? What type of principles do we walk with? And I think that's what we have to focus on, labeling. Like that's the most important labels instead of all these superficial ones, because like what your actual day job is doesn't matter as much as like the actual experiences you have with your clients.
Exactly.
You know, that's really the tangible, the real, the energy of like what you do as your career. And so it's just like, wow, like it's more holistic and more encompassing than what we've been shared that like it actually is, you know? And that's okay. Like limited vision, someone can't share like how to see or how much to see if they already are perceiving things in a limited way.
Right.
So there's really no blame, none of that, like the rabbit hole of guilt, like none of that. But it's just like, okay, complete acceptance. And so do you believe that self-acceptance is linear? You don't really get to a point, but it's kind of like your entire life is to continuously accept.
Yeah, I like that, honestly, because I probably wouldn't say that's necessarily linear, right? Because I feel like there's this true self about us, right? This core self, who we actually are. But there's so much exploration around that, right? Like there's so much to discover, and then there's so much to unlearn, so much to learn. And that, like, even now with my ADHD, I didn't really start accepting who I am in that until this past couple of months, right? So there's a chance that there's going to be something else down the road, you know? Like, sure, who I am is accepted, but I haven't accepted all of it. I have not.
Yes, and that's the journey. Like, as you continue to evolve, something will come up and you'll be like, I thought I healed that.
Right. Oh my gosh. The onion. Oh my goodness.
There's just more layers. There's levels to this shit. That's literally it.
Boy. But there's like, I think the best part about that is like, or the best part of the journey is that you get to be gentle with yourself, right? And be like, oh, I'm so sorry that you're finding more.
Yeah.
But that's okay. I'll still be with you. And just you to yourself. It's so beautiful. It's like, it's okay. We got this. We did this before. We do hard things well.
Yes. Okay. I love that because something that really resonates with me on my journey is self-talk, conversation. How do you normalize that with yourself and with your clients? Like, how do you share, like, the importance of it?
That is such a good question because, I mean, self-compassion, and that's really what I'm teaching them. Like, it can be really awkward. Like, they're there, you're okay, everything's gonna be okay. It feels weird, right? Just talking to yourself, but especially if you're used to negative self-talk, subconscious negative self-talk, when you're saying, I'm stupid, I hate myself. That's how I was, you know? And that's how, like, a lot of people are, more than they even realize. Like, I think even some people would be like, it's not even that serious, you know? And, man, is it? like, is it? That's literally your underwriting program. Like, the program you're living your life off of is that loop. Right. Oh my gosh.
It's the loop.
Crazy.
And once we figure out it's the loop, I could change the loop. I could talk to the loop. I could put myself into the loop and, like, really reimagine that. That's where freedom, and that's where that, like, that self meets self.
Yes.
I
love that. Where self meets self. I mean, it's so real. It's so real. And, like, I think I would essentially really just walk people through that. Like, just understanding that there is self-talk going on. And, like, if you're able to say these things about yourself, why not say more compassionate things? You know? Because there's this little child inside of you that is needing to hear that has never heard it before. Those unmet needs, the ones that you needed a parent to say, you're okay, everything's going to be okay, I'll sit with you in your pain. We need to give that to ourselves.
We definitely do.
Because, like, even sometimes it can get really weird with, say, loneliness. You want someone there, but little do we know that we can still be with ourselves in our loneliness. And it'll still be covered. It's crazy. So I try to highlight that for them and for myself. It's just like, at this point, it's not weird for me at all. Actually, when I'm sending voice messages or talking on the phone, I'll literally pause and be like, it's okay. Like, if I feel some overwhelm coming up, be like, it's okay. I'm right here. You're okay. You're safe, you know? And I feel like it wasn't even weird for me to do that in the first place because I talk to myself very often. So it's like, you know, why not? So that's what I give them.
Just another aspect.
Just another aspect. A sweeter one that actually brings lasting healing.
Lasting healing. Yes.
100%.
Exactly. Because then it's kind of like riding a bike. You already know, like, once you learn how to ride a bike, you're never going to forget. But you're not riding your bike every day.
Right.
You know, if you're not a biker or identifies that, whatever.
Right.
And so, but with that, also, you can always hop on the bike. And so, like, on this healing journey, it's a matter of how many times you hop on the bike intentionally instead of just learning it and not using it.
Oh my gosh. You know how I want to share with you a small story about how true that is.
Please.
I think I had gone about, actually it was less than a year in the compassion method, learning, like, the consultancy of it, but it had been like 2-3 years on my emotional health journey. And so I remember I was dealing with this, like, 10 out of 10 trigger, right? But I had learned that, you know, compassion method, just give yourself compassion, find out how old you're feeling, and bring in peace into that, bring in love, bring in all the good things. And I remember it was the weirdest feeling because I was able to separate my triggered self from my true self. So much so that even though I was feeling triggered, I still felt connected to my true self to be like, I'm right here, you know? Like, it just felt like this constant flow of life through my body. And just, it felt, you know, because when you're triggered, you're kind of just believing what's in your thoughts. So the fact that I was able to stay connected to myself and still experience, like, so high of a trigger in that moment, like, is literally proof of that riding a bike. you just remember.
Yeah.
It just becomes muscle memory.
Yeah.
It's so crazy.
Exactly.
I love it.
Mm-hmm. Yes. Because the thing is, to a certain extent, we're programmed in general.
Yeah.
Like, our minds are even more, they're more powerful than a computer that we've made, which is essentially just our minds in physical
cannot do half
form.
what we can do.
No. And so it's just like the program that our minds are running on, and take into consideration while we're children, we're forming until we're 8, we're like a subconscious mind, a complete subconscious mind.
Yeah.
We don't have our conscious mind completely formed and all that. So it's just like everything that happens to us during those formative years, like, legit forms us. It forms those programs. And so that script, like,
just run it through.
Yeah, so rerunning that script, rewriting that script, like, not using the script that your parents gave you, your guardians gave you, your mentors, whatever the case may be, like, really sitting down, what do you want?
Yeah, right.
Like legit, because there's gonna be differences in, say, like, what we're praying for, what we desire, what we manifest, how we want our lives to look. They're going to be different because we're different aspects of God.
Right.
And so it's just like, we shouldn't want the same things, but the path of like self-discovery and understanding the onion layers, it's similar.
Yeah.
We all have the same emotions. We feel those emotions to a different degree.
Right.
And a lot of people seem like trauma bonding and trauma, like, oh, I've experienced more than you, this, that, and it's like, no, like, we've experienced it. Like, that still gets into the whole ego thing when we want to quantify every single detail, every single thing.
Because we think our value is in that.
Yes, and it's like, no, like, this happened, we need to move through it. It wasn't able to be moved through. That's why we feel like this, like, going through that instead of, like, comparing each other's journeys. Like, it's just not healthy.
Right.
It's not helpful.
Right.
And it's so unnecessary because, like, we're literally stardust. And if stars, like, they're in the sky, none of them are looking around saying, yo, you shining right now.
Right.
Like, no, like they probably have, they probably have more carbon or something something like that. Like, just think of it like that. It's not necessarily like you're better than someone. Like, all of us are in our different cycles and seasons.
Yeah.
So I may meet you in your winter season and you meet me in my summer season.
Right.
But you are going to compare your season to mine, even though they're completely different seasons.
Different.
You know, when it's up, then it's stuck, in the words of Cardi B. You know, like legit. I love pulling like real things that like can help the concept, because really understanding that, not comparing our seasons and cycles, because it's not healthy.
It's not. It really isn't. And what's crazy, I like that. There's like 2 things that came to mind as you were saying that, just with comparison.
Yeah.
I heard one person say that when we compare with each other, we're taking away from someone else, essentially, and taking away from their experience, and we're also taking away from ours. Like, the value is not equal, you know? Because we are literally incomparable.
Yeah.
Just literally. We're just literally beings, you know? It's when our worth is not based off of what we do.
Yeah.
And I forgot the other thing, but it was really cool. Ooh, the coding thing, probably.
Oh, yes.
Oh, that was crazy.
Yes.
That you mentioned that, because literally that's what I learned too. Like, this coding that we have when we're kids, and if we didn't get something met, we'll kind of go in the future in our adulthood, like, trying to get it met, just constantly. And then our brains are always just like, see, this is why. It keeps trying to prove why we will never get it met.
And why we keep doing that same action. Yep. Wow.
I like that you said loop. Like, that was like, literally. The same thing.
Yes, like, literally, there's an amazing YouTuber, you know, I love YouTube University. I think it's the wave of the future.
Yes.
Let's just put
they're
it
probably
going
to charge for that at some point.
Oh, yeah. I can't wait, because I want to be a teacher on it. Exactly.
Oh, yes.
Exactly.
Ooh,
yes.
Yes.
Yes. And the thing is, the beauty about YouTube is like, just as much as I could be a teacher on there, I could be a student as well. I love that. I love that concept because that's really how life works.
That's crazy.
You know, I'll be teaching people something, an aspect that I have mastered, but then that someone right there in that class could teach me something that they have mastered.
Right. Oh,
and that now I need.
That's so beautiful.
Yes.
That really is like the intention.
Yes.
Wow. That's amazing.
Yes. So that's all to say, though. There's a YouTuber teacher. His name's Dan Coe. And I love the way that his mind works. And he talks about philosophy, entrepreneurship, spirituality, kind of all mixed up in one. It's amazing.
Yeah.
And he shared that looking at life as a video game is very helpful because then you become more attached to your truest self. And understand that right now we're living in a hologram. This is something that you can use and mold. It's a tool, but like, you are not your experience. You're just experiencing this.
Oh my gosh,
yes. And so with that loop, that's just the same level in a game every single time because we're not learning the lesson. That's the loop.
Oh my gosh.
So how are we going to beat the level? So I started asking myself, like, when I get to a problem, whether it's a problem that I have to solve for a client, a problem with tech issues with the podcast, like anything that could be minutely like stressful, essentially, then it's just like, okay, what do I need to learn here, and how do I beat this level? How do I beat this level?
I love that.
Yeah, like, what do I learn so that I can beat this level? Because that's all it is. There's really, if there's a problem in the universe, there's a solution simultaneously. Simultaneously.
Wow. Right. We're not absent of it.
No, because everything has opposites.
Yeah. Wow, that's crazy.
Everything has opposites. So if we know that, there's the sun and the moon, there's hot and cold.
Wow.
Everything has an opposite. So that means if you have a problem,
there's a solution.
what's up?
Wow. It's crazy.
So why are we worried?
Why are we worried?
And I'm asking myself the same question too. Why worry?
Wow.
And the journey is to worry less. Where worry is not even on your radar.
Yeah.
Because you vibrate so much higher in love, you have no time to worry.
Right. That's literally what God keeps telling me. When I keep asking him his views, like, don't worry. I'm not worried about it. Okay. Like, okay.
Yes.
Like, okay. But it's so cool because, like, you really, once you actually surrender to that, you kind of tap into that, like, essentially frequency of not being worried, and things are actually going to be okay.
Yeah.
If you go into that place of surrender. It'll be fine.
Yeah.
It'll be fine.
It'll be more than
You'll
fine.
get through it because you've come this far. You've come this far.
Come this far. Like, there's no way.
And that's also for me too.
Yes. Like, and that's the beauty of it. Like, us being able to share our stories, share our thoughts, and just like what we've experienced, what we've seen others experience. I think that collective sharing, it helps because then now you have a unique perspective of the world and how you experienced it. And it's like, oh, okay, like maybe I can use that thought pattern. I can use this. Like, that will help. And so that kind of like goes into like gatekeeping and different things like that. It's unnecessary.
Yeah. Oh my gosh, I agree.
Unnecessary.
It's weird, and it's like I'm very empathetic. I could feel people's emotions often, and so it's just like there's this weird thing that happens in my chest when that happens. Like, no, you can't have this, and it makes me feel like more hard than soft. You know, of course, it's up to me to get through not having to be affected by it. But the fact that, like, that's what's happening in someone else, I get it. Trust me, I do. Like, validation and all, like, I totally get it. But at the same time, I think there's, like, this looseness and compassion that you can have for yourself and knowing that there's no scarcity. You don't have to think in a scarce way. You know? There's more than enough.
Yes.
And if you believe that, you'll get and experience that.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
Like
literally.
That hard thing is just like almost like you don't actually get to pour out as much as you want, as much as you can.
No.
You're holding things back.
No. Yeah. Like, abundance mindset.
Mm-hmm.
I talk about it on this channel all the time.
Perfect.
All the time. Because, like, that is something that I have had to infuse into my psyche for the past 2 years. Actively, like, allowing myself to see the abundance in all things, all scenarios.
Yeah.
All scenarios. And I think understanding that is one thing, but living from it is another. Like, real life scenarios of, like, okay, there's no need to keep from someone or keep something or take something because I'm literally connected with the divine being.
Yeah.
So there's no reason why I should lack. There's literally no reason. I love the story in the Bible, and usually I don't reference the Bible often, but I really love different stories in the Bible. And one of them is when Elisha was fed by ravens.
Wow.
And some bread while he's just chilling on a rock or whatever.
Yeah, wasn't that like after he wanted to die?
Yeah,
too,
like
he thought he wasn't gonna
he was on. Yes, he was probably on rock bottom, whatever the case may be.
Wow. Honestly, I'm pretty sure, but I feel like you just dropped like a mic right there. That's probably exactly
where he was at. And I know we've all felt that. And so it's just like being at that point and being given sustenance.
Yeah. Yeah.
Because other beings, maybe not on your level of intelligence, animals literally came because they're connected to the same divinity that we are.
Right. Wow.
That's all.
Wow. That's crazy.
And it's just crazy. Like, yo, what?
Wow.
So, like, thank you for my bread. I don't have to see it right now, but thank you for my bread. Because you use other people, other beings, other anything. And when I say you, it's the all-encompassing whole that we're all pieces of.
Yeah. Yeah. Right.
Yeah.
Exactly. That's so beautiful.
Whew. It gives me chills because I just know.
That's for me too. Oh, yeah, for sure.
Yes. It's just like, wow, like I'm that holy because I've come from a holy experience. Even being in this world, coming through my mother's canal. Like there's miracles, holiness, blessings all around. It's what we focus on.
Wow. Yeah. And it's so crazy. I love that you say that. And I experienced this thing with God once, and I had asked him, like, because I had felt like this. Felt like this potent sense of joy in my heart, and I was just like, sometimes I like to ask, like, heart, where did this come from? Like, usually it would be negative stuff. If I'm feeling sad, or if I'm having weird feelings that honestly just feel like I've never felt before. It's like, where does this come from? Because maybe it came from someone else, and we could just pop it out. But I had asked about joy, and I had asked him about it. And it felt like, and it was crazy because I saw it like in my brain essentially. And it was just like this, it was like along this thread, kind of going backwards to where it had come from, right? Just singular moments, like there was this moment and then there was that moment. And it felt like it was just going backwards up into my mom's room, right? While I was in there experiencing life with her as I was there. And then also in that like little part when you're like in the tubes and stuff. I really do not know the anatomy. Yes, and then even further,
all that.
Right. Right. But even further, but to like before I was actually, created. And it felt like I was in this open abyss. It was essentially dark, but not really dark. And it felt like I could feel him there, but I could also feel myself there. And it just felt like this beautiful, man, I don't even think true self can even encompass or like properly define what it was. It was just like the holiest experience I had ever felt. Like, wow, God, you created me this way. Yeah. It's just literally, if you were to feel beauty, that's exactly what it felt like. It was just the little depiction of what beauty is. Wow. Insane. I cannot, I will never forget that.
Yeah. Oh no. How can you?
Right? Crazy.
How can you? And I'm glad that you're aware of that experience. That's the experience that we each have had.
Right.
Coming into this earth.
Yes.
Now you're just aware of it. But like all of us have had it. Yeah. Unfortunately, we don't remember. There's been different things that have bogged down our memory. And so, but like, that's real.
Yeah.
Like, that's not...
It's crazy.
Yes, like...
It really is
that's
real. Like,
real.
Whew. Man, see, I have more chills now.
Yeah.
Like, yeah, it's so serious. And it's so crazy because now, just thinking about it, I'm remembering... Because honestly, I feel like 99% of us have this idea that we need to be fixed because of this brokenness that we have, but really just finding out that it's just shame, insecurities, and things like that. And so... in my head, I kept thinking of it even as I'm, going through my own healing journey. Like, I just need to fix this. Just need to fix this.
Yeah.
Trying to come out of that mindset. Still, I need to fix it. I need to be fixed.
Yeah.
And then I realized, and I had to talk to God about that too. It's just like, no, you came fixed. Almost like at a fixed rate. Like, this is how you are. And then things are just trying to interrupt all of that. You
came fixed.
You came fixed. I was just like, what the heck? And I honestly, after that, and I tried and think about it as often as I could, after that, I've just been feeling like this unraveling, like just coming back to that place. Right? Like, ugh.
Oh, you came fixed.
You came fixed. You came fixed.
Okay, so on this note, what are some tangible things that you would share with our listeners that can remind them you came fixed?
Ooh, that is so good. Man. Ooh, I feel like I have to think about that one. I think...
I can sip my tea.
Yeah, go ahead. Drink that up. I think what I would say is... Because I know that can be really hard to believe, and belief systems can be really serious. So I would say, like... get compassionate with yourself. If that feels hard, think about just your compassion towards a little child. Because if you're already believing it now, there's a part of you that believes about it yourself, but it's just difficult. And so I would say, like, think about that child that you can believe it easier with, and tell that child in your mind, in your heart, and receive it for yourself. And the more you do that, the easier it will be for you to actually give it directly to yourself. You came fixed.
Yes.
And then as you go on, probably even within a year, maybe even less, because honestly, infusing compassion into your heart can do wonders. Honestly, like, it happens so quickly. And so just getting into that habit of just sitting with the essence of that truth. You came fixed, whether it be outside of you, telling someone that you can feel that towards more, or to yourself, or ultimately to yourself. It'll get there.
Yeah. That inner child really speaking to them.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. Wow, I love that. This conversation has been very healing for me. And just exploring these concepts and like aspects of our own journeys. Thank you for being so open and honest. Like, it's just a blessing that we're here. We're like being in tears at the end of this.
I know, I'm here like, Monique.
Oh wow.
I'm right. Man, yeah. Dang it.
This has been absolutely beautiful. Absolutely beautiful. And I want for you to share what our listeners can, if they would like to work with you, if they would like to speak to you more, maybe ask you questions, where can they do that at?
I would say Instagram, for sure. It's my name, Monique Lyttle, with a Y.
I'll put in the description.
Thank you. This one guy was actually looking for me forever with putting an I. I was like, glad you found me. But yeah, so I just DM me. If you want to do long format, you could email me. I'll totally read it. Yeah.
Okay.
And my link's up there. If you ever want to schedule with me, I wouldn't mind. I'd probably love it to just walk people through that and helping them know compassion for themselves and like their true selves and things like that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, perfect. So I'll put the link, your Instagram, all that good stuff. And I hope that you all were blessed. Your souls were open just as much as we were open. This is just, I love podcasting. You all already know this is my favorite thing to do. And so thank you, Monique, for being on the show.
Thank you for having me.
Of course. And peace to everyone. Peace, love, and light. I say bye.